Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my review of The Mandalorian and Grogu. It just came out. I saw it opening day and I absolutely loved it. Here's the thing. I'm just warning you right now, this review is going to be extremely similar to my review of the John Williams documentary as well as the Disneyland Handmade documentary, where it's just me gabbing and going on about how much I loved this movie. Because here's the thing, I cannot help but just absolutely love anything Star Wars. I was smiling this entire movie. I had so much fun watching this movie, and just in general, watching Star Wars brings me so much joy. I can't say anything except that I loved it and I had so much fun with it. Was it a perfect Star Wars movie? No, it was not. But at the end of the day, none of those Star Wars movies are perfect except for maybe one or two of them, in my opinion. But I have so much fun watching these movies, and to actually get to see a new Star Wars in theaters for the first time in like 7 years was a big freaking deal to me. I was so excited walking into that theater to be able to see something I haven't seen yet, something brand spanking new, because at this point, I've seen, not including The Mandalorian and Grogu, I have seen 10 out of 11 Star Wars movies in theaters. Now I've seen 11 out of 12 Star Wars movies in theaters. The only one I have left to see in theaters is Attack of the Clones. So over the last 7 years since Rise of Skywalker came out, I have seen almost every Star Wars movie in theaters when they've been re-released. And I have so enjoyed going to see these movies in theaters. I enjoy sitting down in my basement and watching these movies. They just bring me so much joy. So this is 100% super duper biased. I cannot not be biased when it comes to Star Wars because, like I said, it just brings me so much joy. I did really enjoy this movie. Is it going to be everybody's cup of tea? Of course it's not going to be, because it is a Star Wars movie and Star Wars has the most horrible, disgusting fan base in existence, and more than half of them are so disgustingly toxic. So there are going to be people who are going to rip this movie to shreds and say how terrible it is, but I don't care. I'm not going to listen to a single word of anything that those people say, because at the end of the day, it just diminishes my joy, and obviously I don't want that. So obviously this movie follows Din Djarin and Grogu as they set off on another adventure. Yes, this movie could have very much just been a extra long episode of The Mandalorian, but it was still so much fun. The fight scenes were absolutely incredible in this movie. This movie starts off with such a bang, with a epic, amazing fight scene between Mando and a former Imperial officer. It's such a great opening. We get Mando right away just kicking ass. We get Grogu right away using the Force to do amazing things. And one of the biggest things about this that I absolutely loved was we got so much Zeb in this movie. If you've watched Rebels at all, Zeb is a character from Rebels, and he is such a great character. I absolutely loved Rebels. It is probably, no, it's not even probably, it is my favorite Star Wars animated show. I absolutely loved Rebels so much, and I loved every single character on that show. I had issues with Ezra in season 1, not the point, but I loved every character on that show, and Zeb was one character on that show, and he's not human, he's an alien. We did actually get to see a live action version of him in season 3 of The Mandalorian, but he literally like sits down at a bar and like chats with someone, and that's all he does. So it was really cool to see him and see this like creature in live action, but he didn't do much. In this movie, he does so much, and we actually get like a fight scene with him where we actually get to see him like fighting and like kind of like jumping off the walls and stuff. And it's so cool because, like I said, he's not human. He's an alien species that I don't know the name of off the top of my head, but he has almost like kind of like gorilla type legs. So he is like springing and bouncing off the walls, and we actually got to see that in live action in this movie. So that alone was so good. We got so many creature designs in this movie. There were so many creatures and different new things that we've never seen before in the Star Wars universe. So that was super duper cool to see. We did get a brief moment of Din Djarin without his helmet on, and every member of the audience who has eyeballs and a brain was swooning at this, like, I think like 5 minutes of time we get him without his helmet on, but it was so worth it. Pedro Pascal is so handsome. Even his voice, just in the Mandalorian suit, is so handsome. This movie was not perfect. I could definitely mention a few things that I didn't enjoy about this movie. As I said before, this did kind of feel like it could have just been an extra long episode of The Mandalorian. And with that being said, I felt the ending of this was very like TV-esque in the sense that things got wrapped up really, really quickly, and then it just ended, and that was it. And so I didn't like that, but at the end of the day, am I still gonna rewatch this now every single year for my Star Wars marathon? Absolutely I am. I had so much fun with this movie. Like I said, I was smiling the entire movie all the way through. Seeing a Star Wars in theater just brought me so much joy. Seeing a Star Wars in general brings me so much joy, especially in the theater, but seeing a new Star Wars in the theater, I was on cloud 9. Cloud City, if you will. I do have one spoilery thing that I do want to mention. So this was a very short video, but similar to, like I said, my John Williams documentary video and the Disneyland documentary video, I of course, I'm just going to rave about this. So it was a short video, but I have nothing but good things to say. So I do have one little spoilery thing that I'm going to say. It is just a tiny, minor spoiler. It doesn't even really affect the plot of the movie or anything, but I will give you a warning in case you don't want to know. So here is the spoiler warning if you do want to leave my video now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and baby spoiler. Star Wars fans just being so horrible, in my opinion. I feel like there's going to be a division, because it's funny because when like The Mandalorian season 2 came out, I saw people all upset that they saying like, oh, they just brought back Luke as like a way to save the show kind of a deal. And like, oh, they're just doing these cameos to save the show. Similar also with like Book of Boba Fett, where they brought in Din Djarin again, and then Cad Bane and all these characters and stuff, and they're like, oh, they're just doing this to save the show. This movie had 0 cameos. There was no character that we may have met somewhere else in Star Wars universe that was in this movie. The biggest like cameo, if you could call it that, was that we see Dave Filoni twice in this movie. That was it. And like, he's not like a Luke Skywalker or like a Ahsoka or a Sabine or anything like that. He's not a character that like is like, oh my god. It is for like big Star Wars fans who know who Dave Filoni is. It is a big deal to be like, oh my god, that's Dave Filoni and he's wearing his cowboy hat. It was exciting. But like I said, there was no like big cameos or anything. I was saying to Sam, like, again, the way that this movie ended, I was expecting like something else to happen that like would lead to potentially something else. One thing I said, I thought it would have been kind of interesting with Ahsoka season 2 coming out soon. At the end of the movie, Mando finishes this mission that he's on, and all is good and all is well, and he's going to take Grogu and just go and kind of chill for a while. But before he goes and does that, my brain instantly thought, wouldn't that be cool if Hera and Ezra approached him and said, we need your help, would you be willing to help us with something? Which then would lead again to Ahsoka season 2. Because at the end of Ahsoka season 1, Ezra gets back to their world, but Sabine and Ahsoka are obviously still lost. So I was thinking, oh, that would have been cool if Hera and Ezra had come to him saying like, hey, would you help us? And then that was the end of the movie, and then that leads us into Ahsoka season 2. But at the same time too, I'm not disappointed that that didn't happen, because this is its own entity. It is its own movie, similar to Rogue One or Solo. Those are their own things. There didn't need to be like much more going in or out of those movies. So similar with this, it didn't need anything else to go out of this movie. It didn't need to build up to something else. It could have, but it didn't. But I'm not disappointed that it didn't. That's my one thing, is that I feel like it's funny because people were critiquing like Book of Boba Fett for having too many cameos. And I just know there's going to be people critiquing this for having 0 cameos. And it's like, make up your mind. What do you people want? I just want Star Wars. Whether there was cameos or whether there was not, I was a happy camper in my theater seat. But anyway, that is going to be it. Like I said, that it was just me raving about the Mandalorian and Grogu, because of course I'm going to. I didn't post it on my Instagram because I actually have not really posted any Star Wars rankings on my Instagram or anything, but you guys know, if you know me and you've been here for more than 45 seconds, you know, obviously anything Star Wars is a 10 out of 10 for me. So anyway, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I hope you like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I'd love to have you here. Thank you so much, and may the Force be with you.